Hello, hello, hello. Beautiful, beautiful souls. Hello and welcome. I'm just going to move my incense back a little bit. Oops. I have the most beautiful Magdalene incense that I've just got burning on a charcoal disc right now, and it just when I went live it was like, yes, we're going live, and all this beautiful incense and sacred scent came out, so I'm just moving that over a little bit. But welcome, welcome, welcome one and all. Happy Christmas Eve for those that are celebrating and just enjoying the period of time that we're in. So this live, I've been waiting for the right time to do this live, to kind of talk about what's happening right now energetically, what's coming forth. The 21st of December, that happened just now, was quite a pivotal moment in our existence as we enter the Age of Aquarius. So we're going to have a little look at what's been happening, what that did, what's happening right now over Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and what the Age of Aquarius really means for us, and how we're going to see that shift and that change in the new year. Okay, so if you're watching this live, welcome. If you're watching this on the replay, welcome back later. But where to start, where to start, where to start? And I just apologise for any distraction there may be out there. Obviously it is Christmas Eve. Most people are either off work or doing some deliveries, last minute deliveries and things like that. So up till now, this year has been a collective, and I've spoken about this in many of the videos that I've done, but this year has been a collective heart opening, a heart awakening, right? A collective dark night of the soul, some would call it, where kind of we are so surrounded in the illusions that we've created that we literally can do nothing but see them and then start to question them, right? So that we can break our hearts open enough to be able to allow that light in. And that's what's been happening this year. And check the video that I did a couple of days back on that, as I go into more detail about that then. But this video is about moving forward. So after experiencing all this wonderful contrast that we've had this year, it's been a year where the masculine energy within each and every one of us has been standing up more and more divine, more and more sovereign. What does that look like? So the feminine and masculine energies that run within each and every one of us, they have, through time, they have had shadows and woundings that have wanted to be healed, right? So that they can become sovereign. And this year has been a big year for the masculine energy as well as the feminine. The feminine's been on the rise into her power and sovereignty for a while now, getting stronger and stronger, but you can't have one without the other. They both rise together. That's union, right? That's sovereignty. That's how it works. Now, what happened on the 21st of December on the winter solstice is we had that conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, right? The Bethlehem star, as some were calling it. Really anchoring in that Christ light. Now, Christ is a title. It is not linked to a person that may have walked on this, although it is linked to that person and known by many with that person. It's not linked to the religion. It predates this. Christ light is a title of someone, right, who has achieved that perfect union, that balance, that enlightenment, and can bring down the light of source so clearly and anchor it into the earth grid so clearly. That is what the meaning of that title is. But what the 21st brought was a switch over in energy source, right? It's a massive influx of light, and we've been feeling it, especially with the recent eclipses we've had. We've had more and more pendulum swinging type of action is what it feels like, right? That pendulum has been swinging, it's been really good, and then it's been a contrast, then really good, and then contrast, and it's just gone back and forth. And it's kind of like, it's like, are we going this way, are we going that way? Who knows? We don't really know, because there is just so much coming up to clear. So many old blueprints, old programmings of the human body, of the collective, have been coming forward within each and every one of us, showing up differently. So what happened on the 21st, on that winter solstice? The light got so much more intense. We started receiving light from 7 sacred suns rather than just our own, right, throughout the whole universe, through the galaxies. That light coming in, and for anyone that was, especially for anyone that was in Avalon, or that is in Avalon, in Glastonbury, England, and if they were up on the summit of the tour, they'll have felt this and seen this immensely. And I know when the sun started to rise on that morning of the winter solstice, although it was cloudy, the energy that was coming in with the collective intention for all those that were there, the light shining down was such a bright golden diamond rainbow white light that was just cascading down onto each and every person that was there, anchoring into that beautiful hill and spreading out across the land, out around the world, through the ley lines, right? Because Glastonbury is that heart chakra, the world, the EarthStar has the chakras, and we have the ley lines, right, that have just received this massive amount of energy coming in. And each one of us has within us that Christ Magdalene template. And once again, these are both titles, although we associate them with people, these are both titles. These are both a representation of an energy, of the Divine Father and the Divine Mother, right, of which we are made up of both. So that marked this union, this sovereignty, this unity consciousness that is now imbued within us. Each and every one of you have that activating within you now, like a domino effect. That was the tip of the domino. And the mark of the Age of Aquarius, when those 2 planets moved into Aquarius. In February, we have 7 planets in Aquarius. So before I get to the start of 2021, let's just have a little look, a little bit more as to what's happening right now. And you can also check my YouTube channel if you're not on there yet, as we talk about that in the weekly readings, right? We talk about the energy coming in the weekly readings. But the Christ light and the Magdalene light and Mother Mary energy, all that energy is so powerfully strong right now around this time of year, because around Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, it's no surprise that that was the day chosen to mark the birth of this child, right? You know, it predates all of that, you know, all the turning of the wheel and everything that's been celebrated for millennia, right? We are all one species, right? Human species. And although we all have started through the hundreds of years to kind of collect in different practices, it all still correlates to the same thing, right? So this isn't about who came first with what holiday. This is about the earth and her dance with the stars and the cosmos. And all of those stars and all that galaxy is within each and every one of us, right? Which is why we feel everything so much. Now, what happened on the 21st was this such a massive influx of light that what will happen is, for those that have been on this path for a long time, who have been working actively with their shadows, with opening their heart for a long time, it's not to say you won't still experience contrasting experiences. You likely will, but you'll be encouraged to view them differently. You'll see them as reflections of yourself, because you are now moving into unity consciousness, where whatever you see, you are recognizing as a reflection of yourself and whatever energy grid is active. You are anchoring in that light with every step that you take, every inhalation, every exhalation that you take. You are breathing in more of that light and breathing it out and spreading it across the land, across the world, with every single person you come into contact with, whether physically or just a few paces away. Right? It marks an uprising, an influx of this influx of light to this level is going to highlight any stagnant, any old programming that our bodies wear. And I go into this in other calls and other videos where we talk about, you know, the female body, right? If you are born into a female body, the collective karma you carry to heal. You know, you came into this body for a reason, just like if you were born a male, right? Because you'll have had hundreds of past lives where you'll have been both genders, you know, you'll have switched around, because with each life you come in to heal a certain thing. So if you've born into a female body, you've carried since birth that template, that blueprint of the wounding that the feminine has, that desecration she's had, so that you can heal it, to bring through that sovereignty in a certain way. Just like if you were born into a masculine energy, it's not that you don't feel, into a masculine body, sorry, it's not that you don't feel that you do, but you also contribute to that in a different way from the male side and from how that's being received and given and exchanged. Same with the masculine energy, right? Because we have them both. They just show up differently. So what is this going to look like? For the next few weeks, we're in an integration process. It's like we have crowned, right? If we're to use a rebirthing term, right? It's like you've crowned. You know, you're still coming through that birthing channel. It's been tight, it's been uncomfortable, it's been dark. You don't know what's happening. You don't know where the out is. You know, you don't know what's going on. You just know that you don't feel like you can breathe and you have to get out of there, right? So it's time to emerge. That's what's been happening this year. And then the 21st marked that crowning point. You feel the light, you see the light. What else is now happening is we have to go through this integration process. So there are people that will be awakening, that are so new to this. And if you're new to this, do watch my video on, you know, if you're new to this, what do I do? Watch that, because it will help. It'll just start with some basics. Be kind to each and every one that you meet, regardless of how they're acting, what they're doing, because they are processing still. They are also processing. For our existence to rise up in light, we have to reach that collective tipping point, right? So in order to do that, if we encounter someone who's having a hard time of it and they are frustrated and they wish to raise their voice or they wish to say something or do something because they're experiencing something, they don't know how to process it, imagine how we could help them if we just responded in love and kindness rather than fear, rather than battling back with it and enhancing that energy. Because every single one of us right now is integrating wherever you are at, and everyone is blossoming at their own divinely perfect time. Everyone will be birthed in their own divinely perfect time. But that integration process is going to take a few weeks. It's going to take, I'm hearing, till around February time, right? Through January to around February. And what's going to happen is, you know, you're going to continue to kind of, like, things are going to continue to kind of fall away, right? You're going to be put into more contrast so that you are given more opportunities to rise up into your power. When have you, and this is the thing as well, because Aquarius is about that rebellious aspect, right? Aquarius is about that freedom. Where have you been giving your freedom away? Where has someone been taking that? You know, it's the divine masculine energy within himself. You know, he isn't sat there going, oh, I don't feel free because someone's just changed their mind on where I can travel to and who I can see, and, you know, I can only see this person because of this, and I'll see this person because of that, you know. They don't sit there and go, oh, okay, well, that person says this, so I'm going to just listen to them. Because what that does is that gives the power to them. Now, I'm not saying go, and I'm not advising you to do anything. I'm just pointing out an energy. And if you should wish to be more sovereign, the masculine, in his sovereignty, he takes his freedom back. He brings it back into him. You know? So, and the reason why this is getting brought up right now, because we have to reach a collective tipping point. If we want what has been happening in 2020, if we want that not to filter into 2021, if we want it to be a beautiful rebirth moment, and we want it to be really, really expansive and joyous and loving and just different, right? Freer, then we actually have to take our power back individually. And the more people that do that in their own ways, in love, this is important, it's got to be in love. The more people that do that, the more the scales tip, right? And we have to get it from being like here, where these people who are saying and pulling all the strings, right, and being very candid right now, where they're not controlling you. You are your own master. You are here in this existence because you are creating everything that you need, and you can change the creation if you're not enjoying it. You can choose the thoughts that you're thinking. You can choose how you experience things that you're experiencing. You can choose how to see a neutral energy, which is what everything is, really. Everything's neutral. It's just how we experience it and how we choose to set our mindset up around it. We can choose whether we're going to enjoy that or not enjoy that. And we can choose who we let command our energy. Are we going to allow ourselves to do that, or do we still need someone to save us? Because if so, that is not sovereign, that is not whole, that is wounded. So check yourself, question yourself, question what's coming in. And this isn't to say you have to go out into the streets screaming and dancing and doing what, obviously if you want to do that, but this is to say that you alone are the only person that can make you happy. You alone are the only person in control of your life. You needn't do anything. You actually don't need to do anything you don't wish to do. You actually don't wish to do anything you don't wish to do. Just because you've been born on this planet doesn't mean to say that you are now subject to what someone else is deciding to say. Did they give you a pen at the end of the birth canal and go, here, sign this contract? No. Right. So the Age of Aquarius is marking this, there's going to be rebellion. There is going to be rebellion because some people will use their voices and that's how they're showing up, and that's okay. Some people will protest and that's okay. That is already happening. And that's what's needed really right now, in all honesty. That is what is needed. So that's why we're seeing it, because we need to reach the collective tipping point, right? So if you're sat there at home hoping and wishing that something would change and someone would allow you to do something, it's going to stay how it is and how it's been, if not get worse, if that is where you're sat. But if you've got the courage, to not offer your power to someone else and hope that someone else will save you, and actually realize that you are your own warrior, you are your own sovereign being, that's when things are going to get really, really fun. And the thing is that we're on a timeline now, into this Ascension Timeline. The first domino is tipped and it's going to carry on going. So we can choose to experience contrast through this process, or we can choose to experience ease, right? We can choose resistance, we can choose ease. And if we choose resistance, we're going to have contrast, because we need to get more clear on what it is that we want and what it is that our soul desires. And that's okay if that's the choice that we make. And some people do choose that, and that's okay. It's how we experience it. The pendulum will swing though, right? The pendulum will swing. Because as more and more light comes in and we anchor more in, because we're bringing our power back each and every day, we're in each and every moment, we're bringing our power back, we're noticing when we've given it away previously. It can be in relation to anything. I was speaking to someone today who I've not seen for nearly a decade, and it was incredible because, and this is something that's super normal, right? Oh, I've been given this diagnosis, so now that explains everything. So someone that they've never met has diagnosed something to do with their thought pattern, and they have chosen to go, that's perfect, I'm going to be this way for the rest of my life, which means I'm going to be miserable for the rest of my life. And I was like, why even be here? Like, what a lot of power to give away. What a lot of power to give away. Why don't you change it? I mean, you're here to create things. Why don't you change that? You don't have to think those thoughts. What if that didn't exist? What if you didn't meet that person who's never met you, never spent any time with you, and doesn't know anything about you, who just diagnosed you, or, you know, gave you a box to sit in? What if you never met that person? Or what if you met someone else who gave you a box with no walls and no windows, and you just like, everything was open and everything was expansive, and they told you, you know what, you can just change this by doing this, and when you do that, you're going to live happily ever after. That's your diagnosis. What if that happens? What if you actually just sit with it and just go, okay, what's coming up right now? Oh, this is happening with this person. Oh, this is happening with this person. This is what's going to come forward, you guys, right, through the next few weeks. Aquarius is that air sign. The constricts and the boxes that have been placed upon us, they rebel against that. They don't like that. In the past, in the history, when as many planets are going into Aquarius as what there has been, you know, massive change and massive liberation has happened in the world. Massive. And that's what this is about now. Where have you let someone be a tyrant? Whether you've ever met them or not, whether you're reading about what they've said in a paper or not. How are you impacting what it is that you wish to see and experience around you? These are all questions that we really want to ask ourselves, because there is such unity coming in. There is such a balance of sovereignty coming in. It's going to get activated. But the thing is, that light is automatic for sure. It's now here. And well done for everyone who is anchoring and activating within others that light. And well done for everyone who is experiencing the contrast and working through it, taking every day as it arrives. The light is automatic, but the actual rewriting of the programming that is within you, that is within this human body, which allows you to be here, that's manual. You have to rewrite that yourself. And you do that by noticing. You do that by noticing what is coming up. Why do I believe this? When did I first hear this? Have I been told this my whole life? Is it actually truth? Is it my truth? Does it resonate with my heart? Does it resonate with my soul? Am I just believing that because since I've been born, that's what I've been told? Or since 2020 started, that's what I've been told. If we want 2021 to be any different, it's time to allow that divine energy within yourself to rise up, that light to rise through. And it's safe to do so. Fear will be projected, and a lot more of it will be projected. Everything that's happened this year has been predicted by people that can read energy. It's all been predicted. And it's all happened bang on cue, right? So, what are you choosing to tune into? Right? What are you choosing to tune into? What are you choosing to put energy into? Are you happy where you're at? And if you're not, why not change it? That's what the Age of Aquarius is about. That is what it's about. Okay? There is a lot of different resources you can go to, you know, find anything to back up what it is that you wish to believe. But the thing is that science is changing every single day. If you start to tune into what your heart says rather than what a fear program says, then that's when you really bring the joy and the love and the peace and everything that it is that your heart and your soul desires back into this world. But right now, we are on Christmas Eve. We have got 3 days of beautiful light. The light, and when I say 3 days of light, what I mean is because energetically of what happens around this time, it's just a very light way to be. It's going to feel just happier, cheerier. So enjoy it, make the most of that, and hold on to that, because that is truth. Anything else is an illusion. And that is why we're here on this beautiful earth, is to break through illusion and see through into the truth. So what does that mean to you? Okay. I'll be doing a couple of videos that will get released this week on my YouTube channel. Do tune into them, because we'll go into a little bit more specific and concise way of looking at you know, the Age of Aquarius and things like that with cards and everything. This was more of a channeled message of something that's been coming through very, very strongly right now. Is about what it is to actually be sovereign in your masculine energy and in your feminine energy, right? Because it's the masculine that does the action, and if we want something to change, that's the masculine that does that within us, right? Not someone else. Okay. So much love to you all, so many blessings. Have the most beautiful, beautiful holiday season, Christmas, whatever. Enjoy. So much love and abundance of health and happiness and everything to you. Bye for now. Thank you for being here.